Hello everyone. Today, we're going on an exciting journey into the world of manufacturing semiconductors. Those tiny chips that power our computers, phones, cars, and so many other devices. We'll learn about the costs and complexities in making chips in global fabrication lines called fabs.
TechInsights is the semiconductor industry's most trusted source for actionable, in-depth intelligence, and today we want to share some of what we have learned about chip fabs over the last 30 years. As you may have heard, most semiconductor chips are made using silicon, and they're like the brains of our electronic devices. Engineers keep making them smaller and smaller, but the fab cost keeps getting more and more expensive. How expensive? Well, leading-edge fabs cost billions of dollars to build and equip. On top of that, annual expenses for specialty equipment and critical materials can also exceed billions of dollars, and that's just for a single fab. Semiconductor foundries and an entire ecosystem of partners and companies all need access to pricing data so they can figure out how much their chips will cost to make, how many chips can be made each month, and how best to test and assemble them for reliability. TechInsights provides models that can accurately represent the costs and outputs of specific semiconductor fabs, allowing for virtual design tests and modeling. There's also a carbon model that is used to consider the environmental impacts of making semiconductors. This model helps manufacturers figure out how to make their chips more environmentally friendly and more sustainable. Now let's talk about how semiconductors are made. This modern alchemy sometimes requires thousands of specialized processing steps, all of which must be done properly to ensure profitable chip output. Leading fabs are constantly changing and improving their processes. Chips are made using silicon wafers coated with chemicals, patterned with light, and etched into atomic scale circuits. Finally, the individual chips are cut out of a wafer, tested, and packaged. Most of that work is done by equipment specially designed to make semiconductors, and that equipment is costly. The most expensive equipment type used today is for lithography used for patterning, with individual systems costing hundreds of millions of dollars each. The cost of materials is also a major factor in semiconductor fabs, since extremely expensive rare earth elements and gold are typically needed. Of course, fabs don't operate themselves, so the wages of expert labor must be factored into any cost and capacity analysis. Unfortunately, as important as semiconductors are to the way we live, manufacturing them has a significant carbon footprint. The manufacturing processes use a lot of energy, and some require greenhouse gases to run properly. These factors are calculated and tracked by TechInsights and our sustainability products. The good news is that the industry and people who care about sustainability are working hard to reduce that carbon footprint, and one of the crucial pieces is understanding exactly how much carbon is produced by making different chips and which processes and fabs have an advantage. The future of semiconductors is bright. For decades, semiconductor manufacturers have been making chips smaller, faster, and more efficient. Now the industry is working to make them more environmentally friendly and more sustainable. TechInsights helps industry leaders understand all the costs involved in making semiconductors and electronic devices, so we can better control what goes into making these tiny yet powerful chips.